Welcome back to The Average Kitchen. Mark here, coming to you from Canada, reviewing a new product, the Ninja Sizzle Pro XL 20-inch indoor griddle and grill. If you remember, we reviewed the original Ninja Sizzle. We actually have it here. I'll show you a comparison in the size before. So they've really stepped up their game here and added a lot of space and more technology. And we're gonna sort of try that out. So as you can see, huge cooking space here. They say wall-to-wall heat both sides. Also has this grate or grill pan, I guess, we're gonna do some burgers in a bit, but we're gonna start out with doing a typical breakfast. Scrambled eggs, hash browns, bacon. 40% bigger than the previous Sizzle. They claim, and I don't know how we'd test that, but they claim it'll get to 500 degrees in 9 minutes. So that's pretty hot. Grease trap underneath here, just pull that out. If you remember, and actually became quite a topic of conversation amongst our fans and our viewers about my issue with the last one, with the lack of tilt for the grease trap. And there was a grease trap, but the way that it was designed, you almost have to keep feeding it down there. It wasn't tilted in any way. Some people made some good comments, like put a poker chip underneath or raise it up slightly. And some people said, hey, what's the big deal? And they're not wrong. To me, it would just make sense that there'd be a slight angle to direct the grease to that grease trap. We'll see. This one looks to be very flat. So we're gonna get this preheated, do some cooking. All right, so we got the bacon rolling here. As you can see, my thought process with that is, we did the whole pack. The thought process with that is, bacon's pretty decent at room temperature. Eggs and hash browns, not so much. So that's why I'm like, oh, we'll fire the bacon on first. So it's a whole pack of bacon. Bacon used to come, at least in Canada here, in 500 gram packs. This is $3.75. It's probably the same price. They just reduce how much you get, typical. But that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 slices of bacon, pretty evenly spaced out. And as you can see, you can go the whole length with the strip of bacon, which is really nice. Obviously, if you're cooking for less people, you can do your bacon, your eggs, and your hash browns all at the same time. It says, and it doesn't even make sense to me or Jamie, it said, I think on the box, feeds what, 8 to 10 people? So if everybody's getting a strip of bacon, maybe. So I don't really know what that claim, kind of how they back that up, not sure. It is smoking, as you can see. I did dial it back for the bacon to 350 based on the recommended settings. What I like about this is you could take this outdoors, as long as you have power, outdoors, plug it in, cook your bacon or fish or whatever you're cooking outside. So I'm pretty intrigued by this product, to be honest with you. Yeah, so very good test. Jamie brought up an excellent point for what they call the kind of wall-to-wall or edge-to-edge heat. As you can see throughout, you're getting nice heat distribution. The bacon appears to be cooking equally and evenly all the way throughout. As far as the grease trap, there is some grease heading down to this small groove that's a little bit lower than the main cooking surface, so we'll see how that works. I do wish the handle was a little bit bigger, and I get it, it's a safety thing. The cord is extremely short, like really, really short. So I wish it was a little bit longer, and I wish the handle was a little bit more meatier for something to grab onto. All right, so the smoke has definitely increased as the bacon is progressing in its cook. As you can see, I'm gonna say very equally distributed the heat, because the bacon is cooking very, very nicely, as you can see. Now, Jamie and I, and leave us a comment on your thoughts on, Jamie and I are crispy bacon guys. Everybody has their preference and what they prefer. Crispy bacon guys. Now, what do you think, Jamie, on the pooling of the bacon fat here? Can I get some feedback here?
Definitely, I would not say it's running off.
No, like this is swimming here and, well, throughout everywhere. Like this trough on this side almost has no bacon grease in it whatsoever. Anyway, that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine, because what's the point of having a grease trap if you've got to feed it all the time, I guess? But anyway, we're almost done, I'm gonna say, our bacon here, or we're pretty much done. All right, we're pulling the bacon here. So as far as a mess, I mean, let's be honest, there's no way to cook bacon mess-free. A lot of people bake their bacon in the oven, on a rack. I don't even know if I've ever done that. Jamie, have you ever done that?
I have done that.
And?
It's good.
Does it make a mess of your oven though?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to use a spatula here to guide an excessive amount of bacon grease into the trap. So is this a pain? Not really. Would I prefer if it would just feed itself? Yes. Yeah, like am I being a little pretentious here where I'm like, it should funnel itself down into the trap? I don't think I am, but okay. Got a bag of McCain, Canadian company, breakfast home fries. So we're gonna fire those on. Oh, small little guys, Jamie. Now those funnel to the grease trap. So we're gonna create some room here because we're gonna have some eggs as well. Now, Jamie, when you picked these, did you anticipate having to flip every single individual home fry, or did you give that any thought whatsoever?
I would say you don't have to.
Flipping every single one?
Not every single one, but as a group.
As a group, okay. So now this will probably also funnel down to the grease trap. Yeah, oh yeah, naturally. Isn't that hilarious? I probably threw these on a little premature, if I'm honest, the eggs. Now it did recommend cooking at 400 for this. Oh, that's timer, temp. 400. Oh yeah, I'm like full on here. Full on. Well, the eggs are gonna have hash browns mixed in. It would be interesting if you could split the difference of between your cooking sides. Like if you could cook one side at one temperature, the other side at another temperature, that would be cool. I totally jumped the gun here on the eggs. Like they're done, and the hash browns are still frozen. So much for hot eggs, hot hash browns at the same time. Huge epic fail. Doesn't at all negate the how well the product works, but it definitely screws up my timing.
It's certainly cooking the eggs well.
It's cooking the eggs nice. I'm gonna say they're done. I'm gonna grab a bowl for those as these are still de-thawing. This is the average kitchen though. Well, that's our caveat. That's our catch-all for everything if we mess something up. It's like, well, it's the average kitchen.
Could happen.
This could totally happen. Working crossbody here. Grab a couple hash browns for good measure.
Frozen hash browns.
Frozen hash browns, yep. So what we're gonna do now is spread these out, not down the grease trap, because they all seem to want to funnel down there, naturally. And close the lid and get that heat going a little bit more. All right, while the eggs are still hot, I might as well try them. They're great. Bacon, cooked perfect. Hash browns are done. Could probably be a little bit crispier, but they're done. I did suggest to Jamie the next time if we're gonna do another one of these griddle videos, maybe that, you know, the patties that are a little bit easier to maintain, because I was thinking, how am I gonna get these off? Like I'm not gonna pick up every individual one. So let's turn the power off here. I'm just gonna pick up the whole tray and dump them onto a plate. I think that's the most efficient way to do it. That wasn't too bad at all. I'm gonna put this over here on a cork pad to cool off and jump right into preheating our griddle, or our grill, sorry. That just jumps on there like that. I'm gonna turn the power on. Low, start. So in the book here, on the grill chart, I looked up burgers and it says low heat 11 to 15 minutes. So we're saving some bacon, obviously, to add some bacon to our burgers. So let's try one of these. They're perfect. Hot, but really good. All right, preheated, didn't take long at all. It has a default timer for 15 minutes. So we just have frozen burgers here. They claim it can do, was it 10 burgers, Jamie?
8 to 10.
8 to 10 burgers. So we have 8 here. This is just like a frozen pack of, you know, whatever, boxed burgers from the grocery store. It'd have to be pretty small burgers to get 10. But even 8, I mean, that's pretty impressive to do 8 burgers. Like, I mean, this could be especially valuable to somebody who lives in an apartment that doesn't have access or not allowed to have a barbecue, like on a balcony, to be able to cook a steak or cook burgers. I mean, yeah, it's not as good as doing it on a barbecue outdoors, but a nice alternative. So we just want to jump back on real quick here during the cooking process. You can definitely see it's smoky, but it's not like burnt smoke. It's more like steam. But I wanted to show you, because we flipped these burgers. One of the things we're the most impressed with this product is how equally distributed the heat is across all the cooking surface. So as you can see with those burgers, every burger looks identical. Not like all, because even barbecues, sometimes there's hot spots or cool spots or whatever. Even distribution across the whole board here. Would you agree, Jamie? Yep. For these burgers. So just made a couple burgers here. Just mayo, ketchup, mustard, and some of that bacon. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, messy. It's fantastic. Is it a barbecued hamburger? No, but a pretty good alternative, especially again, as I mentioned before, that people that can't have access to a barbecue. It's great. You know what I mean?
Very good, well cooked.
Okay. I'm gonna finish this and we'll be right back. All right, so we brought the original Sizzle out of the archives. Jamie had it at his place. Just to give you a sort of a little bit of an idea of the size difference here between that grill. That's the size difference between the grill pans. So they're pretty much the same depth, but quite a bit wider. So I think what we're gonna do, and let us know if you wanna see it, I think what we're gonna do is kind of just do a fun head-to-head and just see which one performs better. This one does not have a digital display, and was one of my concerns when we previously reviewed this, was there's no timer on it. It's an analog dial for the temperature, so this one's obviously come a long way. You can still actually feel the heat off of that. I did want to show you as well, I mentioned that the lid is dishwasher safe. Very, very, very simple to take it off. That's it. So the grill pans, which Jamie was not happy to hear, they said to preserve the coating, and we get a lot of comments about what these are coated with. We didn't make it or design it or engineer it, but anyway, to preserve the coating, they recommend hand washing.
Ceramic coating.
The ceramic coating. Ceramic coating. Thank you, Jamie. So Jamie didn't love that because he's a dishwasher guy, as you know. So let's go through our scoring matrix. All right, if you're a fan of the show, and we hope you are, you know that we came up with a scoring matrix and we go through 7 categories, Jamie and I off camera, and decide how we're gonna score each individual product. Number 1 being price point. Expensive, in my view, in our view. 200 US, which is, I think, overpriced. However, we loved the product. So we gave that a 7.3 out of 10. Functionality, I mean, it functioned fantastic. Worked super well. Didn't have any issues. A minor thing, I wish the handle was a little bit bigger when you go to open it, but I'm also working across my body here, so that wouldn't be how you would normally work. Functionality, we gave it an 8.2. Versatility. Jamie and I were talking, there's very little that you can't do with this. Like, yeah, okay, you're not making rice, or you know, you're not making spaghetti on this, but any protein, any vegetable, you know, anything that you would put on the barbecue, boom. Anything that you would cook in a pan on your stove, boom. So very, very versatile in our view. We thought it was fantastic. Gave that a 9.2. Cleaning, yeah, okay, these don't go in the dishwasher, but it really, they wiped out, or the first one wiped out really, really easy. It was not a big deal to clean whatsoever. So we gave that an 8.7. The size, well, the footprint is the footprint. So it's not overly heavy. So it's pretty easy to move around. The cord is short, but wraps around the back for storage, so that's kind of a bonus. And it isn't very tall, but it is wide and long. So we gave the size 8.6, or sorry, for storage we gave 8.3. I didn't talk about the size yet, right? Okay, sorry, I got mixed up on my list here trying to do 2 things at once. I skipped the size. The size is great. I mean, 8 hamburgers at once, we were pretty impressed. Like, you could do 3 or 4 decent sized steaks on here. As you saw, full bag of hash browns and premature eggs. a full pack of bacon with room to spare. The size was fantastic. So we gave that an 8.6. Mentioned the storage 8.3. Quality, we're learning that Ninja, they make good products. We've never had any issues with them so far. We feel that the lid is a little flimsy, but I think they do that to reduce the weight of the overall product and that you're taking it on and off. But it's a little flimsy, I guess. But anyway, we gave the quality an 8.8, which gives it an overall average kitchen score, wherever Dan's gonna put it up here, of 8.5, which is a very, very good score. I think it's fair. As I mentioned in some of our videos, not all, we're not affiliated to Ninja, we're not affiliated to anybody. So we wanna bring you honest, true reviews with our honest opinions on what we think. Your opinion may differ, and that's okay, but this is what our review of this product, what our thoughts were. That's our video. Really hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave us a comment. We love hearing where you're from. I'm on my way to Portugal and Spain in 2 weeks. Can't wait. We'll see you on the next one.